Friday, February 23rd. Other news stations have Dan Rather. I'm Dan Actually. Come join us in the studio for today's breaking news. With the escalating conflict between North Korea and the United States, I've brought in our resident expert on the matter to discuss the situation. Brett, I'd like to ask, is it possible that North Korea is lying about this situation to provoke war with the United States?
Well, Dan, I don't feel that North Korea wants to go to war. I don't believe they would lie about the U.S. spy plane. I do believe they may release this information where they normally might not to gain leverage in the new discussions about the nuclear program. One important thing to remember with this issue, though, is that when it comes to the Japanese aircraft and the North Korean claims of the U.S. spy plane, virtually none of this information is confirmed by independent sources.
Could they be using this as leverage to start back up their nuclear arms?
Yes, that would be one justifiable means for this.
Thank you very much. I'll now be going to the field to interview the delegates from the United States as well as North Korea and see what their reactions are. Fresh out of General Assembly is the delegate from the United States. I'm going to ask him about the North Korean situation. Delegate, what are your feelings on North Korea's accusations?
Well, after talking to my government, we found out that there was no U.S. warships in the area, and we questioned the intelligence and the rationale of the North Korean government. But we don't want to take hasty actions since the six-party talks have been going so well, we don't want to provoke anything to rupture that peace that we've been building up. We're still looking into the Japan airplane being shot down, and we're still if it was shot down over North Korea, it is in their sovereignty, but hopefully they didn't make a big mistake such as that.
Thank you. Hopefully the crisis will be rectified. We'll now go to the North Korean delegation to discuss the matter with them. I'm now standing with the North Korean delegate, and the United States is denying that it was a warplane. What are your thoughts on the matter?
As we said before, there was a U.S. spy plane in the vicinity of North Korea and the North Korean airspace, and since they have violated our sovereignty, again, we took the correct, appropriate actions to eliminate the threat.
Shocking information. Tensions are high between the United States and North Korea, but hopefully they can resolve that crisis. Right now we're going to a break, but when we come back, we'll discuss the Iraq-Iran crisis and go to the conference between Islamic nations. Has this ever happened to you? Sometimes you feel like you need to stuff your own hand in a garbage disposal and scream, "Pay attention!" But hold on! You don't have to do anything that drastic. Not if you have a Woodsbury. Now, here's one man's testimony on how having a Woodsbury changed his life.
Well, before I found my Woodsbury gavel, I was in a bad place personally. I thought of death often. I lived in an alley in a cardboard box. I ate coffee grounds 3 times a day. For calcium, I put cigarette butts out of my tongue. In my spare time, I was the Undersecretary of Transportation for the Bush administration. I guess you could say my life lacked order. Then, one day, I found a Woodsbury gavel in an old Big Mac box that Dick Cheney threw out. It changed my life. The first time I heard that mahogany strike solid concrete, my life was changed. I immediately cleaned up. went to journalism school, studied at night, and eventually became an anchor for MUNBC.
Shortly after this testimonial, the police broke into the studio, and Matt instead was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in an Oklahoma State penitentiary. Ironically, with a Woodsbury. Woodsbury, striking fear for 100 years.